All right, we made it to week 4. Congratulations for making it this far and for putting in all of your work and hard effort, asking the good questions, and showing up for each other. Like, the things that are happening in the Facebook group make me smile so big because you guys are cheering each other on and supporting one another. And this whole thing is fine alone, but if you have other people that are going through the same thing together, it makes it so much better. So thank you for everything that you're putting in. Let's get to it today. Week 4 is a little bit of a review so that you can practice. The idea behind this month sequence, weeks 1 through 4, was so you could have a routine that you could repeat. But it is very beneficial to take your time and repeat things so your body can learn it. All right, so we're gonna start with our hip cars, band pull apart, and shoulder cars. I'm gonna grab some knee padding. I love some knee padding, especially for anything on the knees. So quadruped position, squeeze that heel to glute, and then we'll go for the largest range of motion that we can control through that hip, nice and slow, gazing about a foot in front of the fingertips, staying strong in the shoulders, staying strong through the trunk, the core. And the most awkward part of this is probably this kind of dog at a fire hydrant position out here. That typically is where most people kind of run into some general challenge or confusion. Let's change directions with this same hip. Breathing, noticing your joint of the hip. Pops and cracks are okay, as we know. About one more and then we'll switch legs. So today we're going into some deadlifts and some squats. So we'll get the whole entire hip. Let's switch legs now. And for our deadlifts, we'll be using our hamstrings a lot and the back glutes. So as you reach that foot up and back like a donkey kick, feel that heel really squeezing towards your pelvis and see if you can sense some stuff through the back hip. And then we'll just keep going through that hip car. So just taking a little moment to maybe feel some hamstring in that back leg. And let's change directions with that hip. The side might be very different. Its range of motion might be different, and that's okay. One more circle or so. If you have more time, spend more time in there. Again, you can do these every day, and I recommend doing them as often as possible so you can spend some time with your hips. All right, grab your band. We've got a minute. Pull apart, keep the wrists strong, pointing the thumbs away. Now my band has been sitting out in the living room for a couple months now, and it's starting to change color. So I mention this because bands, if they're exposed to sunlight or heat, which it's been exposed to both here, then they start to deteriorate faster. And so I'm expecting this band to break within the next few weeks. So when you invest in bands, you just know that they have a shorter lifespan. And if you want to maintain them for longer, then keep them in a bag, in a closet, or something of that sort. All right, that's good for that. Let's go into our shoulder. What are we doing for shoulder today? Our shoulder cars. I say, it says per arm. I'm gonna do both today. Make fists. You can stand or sit, cross the arms, reach up overhead, and then rotate the shoulders internally. So rolling the arms in and reaching back. Arms come down by the sides, and then we reach the arms back. Find that tricep region, kind of reaching that blockade point, and then open the arms as you come up, cross the arms in front standing tall and breathing throughout. Creating tension through the arms by either squeezing yoga tune-up balls or tennis balls in the hands, or squeezing your fists. Making your biggest range of motion that's possible today without compromising through the spine or hip shift. Gazing forward. And let's go one more. These feel actually now really good. Starting to get that blood flow deep in the joints. Awesome. Shin box extension. So we've done these before. If you want to add a hand weight, you're welcome to do so. 6 to 10 per leg. And again, if these aren't working for you today, you can come back to the 90-90 drifts. Those are always nice. You can do those with or without hands. The point of this move is to warm up our hips. So we want them to work, and we want them to feel a light to moderate challenge, nothing crazy. I know Sharon said she was holding a weight this week, so she added that to her shin boxes, so that's great. Increasing the load there. And last week we really focused on the slowing down portion. So as your hips come back, slowing down and then planting. If you need hand support, use some hand support. If that helps to make it accessible, utilize it. But if it makes it too easy, then see if you could have fingertips just on the hand support, or maybe just 2 fingers supporting you down on the floor, or blocks. All right, so I already switched sides, so go ahead and do that if you haven't already. You can use your arms out in front for a counterbalance, that might help. And the pelvis is moving through this kind of hip thrust position and then reaching back. A couple more of those and then we'll move on to our Romanian deadlifts. I always get nervous about my camera not recording, but it is recording, so we're good to go. Pause Romanian deadlifts. So this is all about hamstrings and back glutes, and we're pausing down there to give us some more time under tension. We're giving ourselves more time to experience the load and challenging the tissues in that way. And this is working some grip. So that's exciting. Go heavy on these. We're gonna do a 3-second pause at the bottom, and we're gonna remember to squeeze tangerines in our armpits to utilize our big, strong back muscles. I'm gonna go for some kettlebells. All right, and for these, you could use the same weights or different weights. So I'm using 2 different weights here. So I'll switch about halfway, and we've got 8 to 10 reps. So you'll have the weights in front of the feet, or actually in between the feet. I think this is a better position for you to see. All right. And then the hips are gonna reach way back. So you're sitting way back. You'll feel some weight shift into your heels, but don't lose your toes. And then squeeze your tangerines and stand up. Go slow, or we'll do a pause, that's right. At the bottom, we'll do a pause for 3, 2, 1. Stand, hips drive forward and up. I'm confused if I'm doing it the way that I wrote. Yeah. Okay. We go down, we hover. 3, 2, 1, and up. 3, 2, 1, and up. Feeling some stretch through the back hip. 3, 2, 1, drive up. Squeezing those tangerines. Oh, I forgot to switch my weights, and that's okay. I'll do that on the next set. My left side could probably stand to take on this heavier challenge, so that's okay. Oof. Good. And we'll take a break from those. So set those weights down. This is a single set, so it's just the Romanian deadlifts. If you have the capability to utilize a barbell, that could work here. You could also use dumbbells or kettlebells. And we're going heavy here because these are big muscles that can do a lot. And I find that most people, they go a little too light on their hard days. And then on their hard days, on their hard days, they go too easy. And then on their easy days, they go too hard. So like when I was practicing my zone 2 with my cardio, it was so easy to go fast, but I was supposed to stay easy and slow. And I talked with a bunch of my colleagues, and they were also saying that it was hard for them to go slow, and I see this with my clients as well. We need both. We need to be able to be high intensity, and we also need to be able to be chill and easy. So when we're working with weights, it's important to lift heavy. You don't have to lift like crazy heavy where you only do 3 reps, but you should be lifting heavy enough that it gets you to that place of higher intensity. And you might only have 2 or 3 reps left in your tank at the end of the set. So for me, I'm probably working at a 5 or 6 here out of a 10 effort. And I'm intentionally wanting to work at a 5 or 6 today because I ran a 10K on Sunday. So I'm trying to just stay easy-ish, moderate this week with my weight stuff. And then next week I'll bump it up to my usual higher intensity. But usually when I'm doing these in the gym, I will use 60-pound dumbbells. Or if I have access to a barbell, I'll load that puppy up and go from there. So that gives you hopefully an idea. Let's get ready for a second set. So if you have different weights, you'll alternate them. Lean back into your hips, feeling the back pockets of your pants stretch. Tangerine squeeze in the armpits, and then drive down through the feet as the hips come up and forward. Hips stretch back. Pause as the weights hover, and then drive up. Get that 3-second pause at the bottom, feet alive. Big stretch on the back hips. Hips drive up and back. We're about halfway there. So if you want to switch weights, if you're using 2 different sizes, now's the time. Squeeze the armpits, arms stay straight. Maybe 1 or 2 more. Ooh. Good. If you feel like you lose your grip first, like that's the first thing to fail, you're definitely not alone. It's very common. And it will get stronger over time. I do love these pause deadlifts, hovering the weight for that reason, for your grip, and also to feel the load in the hips for some sustained amount of time. Okay. We'll do 1 more of those. And then we have a superset. Okay. I love deadlifts. They are one of my favorites. Deadlifts and pull-ups. I love feeling the back side of my body. And I think I love it partially because I spent so much time in yoga, which was a lot of pushing and a lot of lunges and a lot of front body work, just because of how, there isn't a lot of equipment in the yoga room to utilize the backside of your body to the extent that you can really feel it intensely. So as soon as I started weight training and doing heavy deadlifts and doing pull-ups, I was like, oh shit, that's the back of my body. Whoa. So it was this big light bulb moment. So I love working back there. Deadlifts are one of my BFFs. Okay, I'm going to show you a little bit more from this side angle. This is for our last set of 8 to 10. We're pausing down at the bottom for 3 seconds. Driving through the feet, hips reach back, tangerine squeeze, and we go. 3, 2, 1, drive. 3, 2, 1, drive. You will probably feel stuff in your low back. You will probably feel stuff in your mid back because your entire back is working here to stabilize and power this weight up. Hetty and I were talking the other day during the race about how weights require a lot of concentration, especially heavy weights. Finish up that set and then be done with those. And she's right, concentration is totally required for weight training because you're lifting heavy things and you're learning how your body can be in team or in partnership with this heavy piece of iron and gravity, right? So you're feeling new things, you're orienting the different body parts, you're breathing, you're experiencing something new that might be a little scary, and that can be a lot, and that takes a lot of concentration. So lean into that and enjoy the journey of experiencing a different side of your body, literally and figuratively. Okay, we're gonna move on to our superset. There are 3 exercises in this one. We've got our heels elevated front squats, which we've done before. We have our hamstring bridge on the foam rollers, which we have also done. And we're coming back to some bench push-ups. All right, I'm gonna do 2 sets of each of these. If you wanna do a third, be my guest. 10 to 14 reps of heavy front squats into hamstrings for 20 to 60-second holds into 6 to 10 bench push-ups. Okay, so we'll need something elevated for the heels. You'll need weights heavy for the front squats. And today, since I'm going kind of light to moderate, I'm gonna go with my easy kettlebells. Or, I'm gonna go dumbbells since it's just easier to manage. And then we'll need our foam roller, which I don't have one, but we will use blocks. And then we got the push-ups. Okay, now that we've got our thing set up, sometimes the hardest thing is actually setting up your stuff and finding the things you need, especially if you're in a gym. Sometimes just finding the equipment is a whole journey. And, do your best with what you find and be willing to improv like Julieta did. Julieta was traveling and she found some impromptu makeshift weights in her hotel or a room, I assume, or Airbnb, whatever. All right, let's go for 10 to 14 of these, holding the weights at the shoulders. You can let them rest on the shoulders. Yes, you will probably feel the muscles around your elbows getting a little fatigued or worked. Whew. Controlling the motion. Staying grounded in the balls of the feet and the heels of the feet. Whew. One more, 2. Oh. Oh my. It's warm in here. I need that fan. It's going to be a little vibration sound, so we deal with it. Okay, let's go to the hamstring holds. So now we come to the back side of the body. Make this harder by putting your feet further away. Heels lift up, hips lift up, feet drive down into the blocks or foam roller, and you try and pull the feet towards the shoulders. Ooh. If you want to make this extra challenging and you feel like you're not working hard enough, then, which, yeah, would be a single leg. Ooh, but I am plenty working here. You can see my legs shaking. Ooh. I'm going to hold for another 10, 9, heels up, pull, 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 and drag that. 7, 6, ooh, got cramps. 5, 4, right in the calves. 3, 2, 1. That's not surprising, especially after Sunday's race, which I ran longer than I think I ever have. So that's to be expected. Feeling some fatigue. But it doesn't mean that I don't do anything. It means that I still do stuff because we need blood into our tissues, right? So I still do stuff, but I have the realistic perspective that I probably won't be able to do, and I probably shouldn't do, my max, right? Just bring it down a few notches. Let's go to our push-ups. So find a position where you can have this strong plank position, and then we perform the push-ups from there. Let's try to be a little springy at the top. 6 to 10. Here we go. Hands a little bit wider than shoulders. I don't know that I can show you the arrow-like position. That's 6 for me. How many did you get? Oh. Sometimes it's nice to do a little check-in in the True Coach app after an exercise, and you can tell me the effort that you think you put into that, or like how hard it was to do, and you use a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being your maximum effort and you couldn't do any more. 1 meaning you had a ton more reps available at the end and you could have done it for much longer. So for me, 6 push-ups today, I feel like my effort was 7 out of 10. I feel like I could have done a few more. But I'm just generally a little fatigued since the race. Okay. Because remember, what we do physically has an effect on our nervous system. So when we go like to these max places, like I pushed it with the 10K, so my nervous system was stressed, and so it needs time to recover, refuel my body, and kind of bring things down a bit. Let me check my time here on the recording. We're at 24 minutes. Okay. I'm ready to roll through another superset with you. Heels elevated. I hope you've been having fun. I don't know if you can see me. Maybe you can. Yeah. I don't know if you can see my head. Hope you're having fun with these. I'd love to hear if there were any favorite exercises of yours or ones that you struggled with. Questions are always helpful. So send that feedback. Let's go for it. 10 to 14. I like to hold my breath as I go down. Like I'm going underwater. And I like to do that because you need to have tension in your trunk and in your torso muscles, tension while you're under load down there to give you some power so you don't lose all your power at the bottom of the squat. And that can work for any heavy lift. Take a big breath like you're going underwater, hold it, that'll naturally create some contraction, perform the rep, and then towards the end you can do a forceful exhale, and that'll give you even more excess. Whew. We can talk about that later though. That's a whole other thing. All right, hamstring holds. Oh, this is a party. Hamstring calf party, middle of the foot arch party, toe party. Ooh. Ooh. So I'm reaching a lot of cramps here, so I'm gonna pull it back. I'm gonna actually pull my positioning back into a more classic bridge and work there. Whew. Still shaking. Let's hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, woo, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. I did also do a little run yesterday, an easier run. And last up, oh yeah, we have our push-ups. So take a brief breather if you need it. And then we'll do 6 to 10 push-ups. By the way, for the hamstring bridge holds, ideally we are working towards legs being long and far away from you. Like the goal is to work up to eventually having your legs be long on that unstable surface of the foam roller, pulling, heels lifted, and holding it for a minute. So if you can do that, show me a video. I would love to see it because that's a power move right there. Because it has carryover to anything with your gait, your runs, your walks, your tennis, any of your weightlifting, cycling, etc. All right, let's bench push up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try and show you my elbows. So I'm aiming for a position that looks like this. Remember that arrow that I posted about in Facebook group? Your head is the top of the arrow, your feet are the tail of the arrow, and then your elbows create the points of an arrow. And you want your hands to be a little wider than the shoulders. Create strong base of support. Elbows bend and they do come out a little bit. They don't like wag all the way out to the side, and they don't hug completely in. They have a little bit of space to move so that your joint can move. So test that out and send me a video in the Facebook group if you have questions. I'd love to see it. We're gonna do for our last little bit, a little finisher of the Turkish get-up. So you have options here. You can do your body weight Turkish get-up if you feel like getting fancy. You could do our quarter Turkish get-up, which was this. one foot down, other leg out wide, holding a weight in the hand, using your hand, your opposite hand, grounded hand, and your opposite foot to drive down, oof, and push up. Keeping a big reach on those knuckles. Okay, so that's our quarter get up or our windmill. If you want to do the full routine choreography, and Ashley, you're totally 100% right, it is a choreography for the Turkish get up, 100%. So if that's confusing, I totally get it, and it is. That's why we have these other segments in here, the quarter to work that, and then the windmill, which I'm going to opt for here. But if you want to do the full shebang, then go back to last week's and we'll do it there. I am going to use a 20. Let me think about this for a second. You know, I'm going to go with my left foot forward, my right knee down, and then I'm going to hold on to the weight in my left hand. So same hand as front leg. I'm going to punch that weight up. I'm going to gander up at that weight, and then I'm going to bring this free hand down. I do not care if your elbow comes down. Some people want to bring their elbow down, and the video probably does that. Mamacita don't care about that. All I care about here is you getting a reach through the shoulder. So big stretch on this side waist, and then a little experience of the hips coming back towards that back heel. Oof. And we're going to invite the whole side waist here to experience some load. Getting those obliques on fleek. Can we switch sides, please? I'm doing the windmill, right foot forward, hand weight in right hand. I'm going to punch that puppy up. I'm going to bring this free hand down as I gander up at my hand weight. And my hips come back towards that back foot, back heel. Drive up, punch up, keep that punch. As the hips come down, hand touches. Go for some reps on this side. Also, we're getting a little bit of a nice chest rotation, which we also need in training. Ooh, as soon as I looked away from my weight, my shoulder got wiggly. So that's why it's nice to have a look up there, because it just helps your nervous system to know what's going on, and when you can see things, it can help with balance. All right, that is week 4. If you want to do another set of that previous superset, do it. If you want to do another set of this get up business, then do it. And let me know if you have questions or comments, and have fun with it. Yeah, I don't know how to finish it. Peace out. Love to your tissues. Smooches to your booches. Have a great workout. I'll see you soon. Chat soon.